I did not kill Snoke. It's a lie. It's fucking bullshit. I did not kill him. I did not. Oh, hi, Hawks.
Hello there, everyone. I just can't do it. Oh my god. What did we just witness, bro?
We witnessed the death of a franchise.
No, it just can't be. It just can't be.
It is. It's
that
it's
way. Lies.
It's that way.
No,
it is that way.
No, you're lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. They said the Last Jedi was the Last Jedi.
Oh my god! Like, it was so close. You guys had it. You guys had it in your grasp, your fingertips. Like, it was asking for you.
It was asking.
Like,
okay, look. Let's get the preliminaries out of the way. All right, couple of things we gotta go ahead and just talk about. Welcome to Geeking Out. This is your host, Nate Myster, and followed by Cole. Here's the thing: we went as a group to go see the premiere for The Last Jedi. We went with a group of how many people we had with us? Like, it seemed like eight to 10, yeah, something like that. So I did not go into this movie with any kind of nostalgia glasses. The first one I kind of did because it was the first start of the new franchises. You know, episode 7 was
a rebirth,
like a rebirth, pretty much a rebirth. It was a New Hope, New Hope 2, but it reset the universe. We got to relearn. Okay, after like almost 30-40 years of these characters, we understand exactly where they are now. What the universe is today, where the war is right now. Yeah, we forgave it because it was the same. It felt like Star Wars.
Yeah.
There were still quirky lines. There were still some great action pieces. The visuals were fantastic. The characters actually had some, you know, good development. Some of them, we'll get into certain characters in this movie because there was missed opportunities there.
But not as much.
Okay, we'll wait for the next movie because this is kind of resetting the universe to where it needed to be. I know we're gonna get a lot of downvotes for this, but once you hear our reasons, you'll understand why. But I think me and you both are in agreement that these make the prequels look good, if not better, in a lot of aspects.
I don't want to say that. I really don't want to say that. Make the prequels great again.
And that's the saddest part. How do you make the prequels look good?
Make the prequels great again.
Oh my god, the prequels will rise again. Like, it is
the prequels will rise again.
I don't want to say it either. I didn't want to say it.
How I feel about Last Jedi, I feel the same way with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Even though Revenge of the Sith was the better of the two, after you look at it,
it wasn't the original vision of the creator himself.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It was much brighter. It was much brighter than what it needed to be because it started feeling like a corporate machine. And we'll get into that. But this, very much so, was eye candy. Angry Joe went for an hour talking about his problems with the movie.
I haven't even watched that, but I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot from Angry Joe, man. He's lit.
Hopefully we make some different points. Everybody's a critic. Everybody has their own experiences, what they like, what they dislike. How much they've seen the same cliches and what things aren't cliches to us.
But it's surprising to me because Last Jedi, like, the Rotten Tomato scores right now is like between 93 and 95 for critics. But for the fans, it's straight out 55%, 56%, which they're saying that it's a hoax, that it's not really 55, 56%. But
I don't know how much you can fake of that. I really don't.
Like, you gotta be a legit angry fan to literally make a whole bunch of bots out of your time.
We love what you love, you hate what you hate. It's about how you can explain it. So hopefully, you know, through our explanation, whatever, you can kind of see where we're coming from and
understand.
You don't.
If you love Last Jedi, good on you. Like,
if you love Jar Jar Binks, feel free to love Jar Jar Binks. You're not allowed near my house or my vicinity, but feel free to love Jar Jar Binks. So.
Yo, that Jar Jar Binks Sith.
There's always one. There's always that one guy that's like, he wasn't so bad.
I don't know you anymore.
I don't know who you are anymore.
I don't know you anymore.
All right, so let's go through the synopsis of the story. The intro, you're gonna love it or hate it. The intro is starting off very, very serious tone. Do you think, oh god, here goes the rest of the resistance?
This right after Starkiller Base just got destroyed with a full base of troops. And I'm surprised that the First Order still got stuff right now. I thought it would be a recovery time. No.
No, let's just bring in a Dreadnought and a bunch of other, you know,
Star Destroyers. Like,
I was just like,
your planet got got destroyed? Your literal base was a planet.
Your base was a planet, right? Yeah. Where are you getting the money for this, Peter Griffin? Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! Joe, I am so sorry. How can you afford these things?
You're just shitting out material.
Humble
Whatever.
Yourself. Humble yourself.
Movie magic. Movie magic. And all of a sudden, Poe comes over the intercom, makes a sly joke, and basically pulls a Han Solo, which it didn't bother me at all because Han did it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, we're okay down here. No need to check on us.
We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're sending a squad up.
It's funny.
They bring out the Dreadnought to try and finish off the Resistance. And, you know, of course, Poe Dameron with his force-wielding Jedi X-Wing flyer skills that we don't know yet.
He's not force-wielding, but he's force-wielding. He is literally all the energy that was passed on from Rogue One embodied into Poe.
Should I jump in our next wing and blow something up?
Permission granted.
That's exactly how I envision him, because things just work out for him. You're gonna find out this movie is really, really funny. There's a lot of jokes in here, so much more than any of the other ones combined. I think they put all their good jokes into this one.
You can tell that this Star Wars film has been Disneyfied.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of Jews worked on this project, that's for sure. So.
No offense.
No offense. I'm just playing.
All my Jew supporters are gone, bro.
Oh,
with that comment.
Oh god. Oh god. The humor works and then it doesn't work. There's a lot of times where like it doesn't fit the mood very well. It doesn't fit the scene. Like if something's very seriously toned, they still will add in like 5 or 6 jokes. Poe will overstep his bounds when it comes to humor.
Yeah.
Finn will kind of overstep his bounds.
Oh my god, Finn! Don't even start with Finn. Oh my god, what did you do, Disney? You had a good thing with Finn. You know, he redeemed himself in Force Awakens. You know, after being a stormtrooper, he went back for Rey, even though he tried to be a coward, and then you made him a coward again. I don't care if he had to go and try to save Rey. That Rey would have been pissed off to find out that he had left the Resistance to die.
You know exactly what Finn's whole thing this movie was? Where's that ass at? Where's that ass at? Hey man, I just woke up. Where's Rey at, bro?
I don't know.
I wanted to ask, bro. Not where's the ad at? Where's the ass at?
I have 1,000 questions. Where's Rey?
Like that's really his entire storyline is to find Rey.
He did get that.
Entire time.
He did get it with Rose,
in the third and final act, in the last 5 minutes, he finally got that ass though. you have on here like missed opportunities, lack thereof. So. I mean, that's really the best way to phrase it. There missed opportunities with certain character pieces.
For example, the biggest missed opportunity, well, the second biggest, was my boy Akbar. You don't know he's there, but we all know that's Akbar. Okay, he's at the seat. Okay, General Akbar, we got this.
This is following the rules of the universe, of the cinematic universe that they have set up, and Disney has left canon. So if you don't know, you have the opportunity to find out. It is part of the storyline, so it's not like you're missing anything. That's important to remember. Go ahead.
Kylo Ren, he comes in. He has this kind of like force connection with Leia. Leia's able to, bring him calm. Like, hey, don't fire that missile. But his fighter squadron's like, F this. I'm gonna get some kills up in here. Get my kill streak up. Bridge is destroyed. Killing off everybody, including freaking Akbar. Now there's a brand new general that comes in. Somebody that we don't even know. General Holdo. Okay, I don't know the name of the actress, but General Holdo is brand new into the franchise. She comes from the Hunger Games system, all right? With that freaking purple hair of hers, right? And then she's given the most epic moment in the film, the hyperspace suicide. She's just given that without working for it. Which Akbar...
That's the thing.
I'm like, Akbar had more potential for that scene than anybody. General Holdo comes up with the idea to save the rest of the crew by turning the battlecruiser, Mon Calamari battlecruiser, okay? Mon Calamari. And freaking Akbar's Mon Calamari. He deserved to be on that seat to sacrifice himself against the Super Star Destroyer B-2 bomber. Okay, Akbar should have been at the helm of that freaking battle.
We didn't need to introduce a new character for it.
Exactly. He could have been at that helm of that battle cruiser and play homage to the original Return of the Jedi moment when he took on the Super Star Destroyer. He had men sacrifice to bring that down, and he would have felt the same way. Like, okay, this is my turn. And then before he launches that freaking battle cruiser, he just says, "May the Force be with you, my friends." Zoom! Boom! Right there. No regrets.
Or Or at least enhanced and notice that, yeah, Akbar's gone now. You know, just pay homage, pay justice to these characters. And it's not the only person they did this to. There's a lot of people that pass away in this movie or get killed off. And the way they get killed off may be okay and serviceable to that character, but the reason for it happening, it does not do justice to that character at all.
Now for Leia, of course, she pulls off Leia Poppins with the Force ability.
Super Leia puts one arm up, just like this, and starts floating herself from mid cryogenic stasis, like freezing from dead space, opens her eyes, and starts willing herself back to the ship.
Now, she's a Skywalker. I'll let that fly.
It's implied that at the end of the 6th film, Master Yoda has said that there is another. It's implied that it's Leia. What is the rule of film? There are 2 rules that they break in this film. Consistency. Show, don't tell. That's one of the biggest rules in film. To tell something, you have to broadcasting it. That's just voice. Like, if you're watching a video of any kind, it's show. You don't have to tell. You can do both. Best things that have ever been put to the screen or whatever is when a character doesn't have to say anything and you can read it all in their facial expressions. This movie, this is all they do. This is all they know how to do. Granted, it's better than the prequels because at least these make sense and they don't cringe like exactly how I'm talking right now. I'm sure a lot of people are not liking what I'm having to say about their favorite franchise, but these are facts. These are things you have to consider. I mean, rush production, all this, all these side stories, and they're just trying to complete this trilogy.
What bothers me though is that Akbar is not even EU. He is Return of the frickin' Jedi. How can no one know who Akbar is? No one knows who the Hunger Games system girl is. If you wanted us to feel something for the Hunger Games system chick, General Holder, why did you build her up for the next film and then kill her off there?
Because here's the thing about this film. It's built off an 18-hour slot. They put this investment in Act 1 where they've gotten on this medical ship because they're tracked now by the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought is what's...
Oh, no, that Dreadnought. Dreadnought got destroyed.
Dreadnought got destroyed.
At the
Excuse me.
base.
Excuse me.
Yeah, the Super Star Destroyer B-2 bomber. It looks pretty much like a B-2 bomber in space. And it's like 20 Star Destroyers lined up together. That's how big it is.
Yeah. And it pretty much has a GPS tracker on anything that goes light speed. So, of course, it's going to harness all of its attention on that one ship. Now, the argument can be made because they're out of energy. The thing is, they've got 18 hours before they completely run out of power. Right? So they're trying to just keep the shields up and focus power on the shields so they don't get blown out of the sky. Well, in the meantime, until help comes around somehow, some way, their only choice is to kind of just wait it out. And Poe doesn't like that. Poe fights against that. This new leader, whatever, is taking control. General Hold'em. And arguing with Poe about exactly... She ain't holding nothing. She ain't holding nothing together. She ain't holding nothing together. Her plan, now she doesn't tell anybody, but her plan is to kind of let it run its course and put as many people as she can into the escape pods and let the escape pods go to the planet. Yeah, unarmed, uncloaked, unshielded pods in front of a fleet of Star Destroyers to another planet for safety when everyone can see them, knowing that they're still being fired at themselves even though they had the shields up, but she's gonna let people go then and there.
Now this is 18 hours. They spent 18 hours following them.
Why? Because Finn and what's the other girl's name?
Rose
my girl have to have character development. So they get sent to this casino place because we got to go see 007. I mean, this Codebreaker.
Benicio del Toro.
He got shafted. He got shafted.
Yeah. He
got shafted, just like Phasma.
He look cool though.
They're great actors and actresses playing these roles. They do not get justice.
Come on, he was shooting Sicario too, bro.
They weren't doing and you know it.
Why that Game of Thrones, bro?
Yeah, okay, that's Game of Thrones. It's not Star Wars. That's my issue. Okay,
no,
we're on. Stop it. We're on the set of Star Wars, and that's what they were there to perform. They weren't doing. There were no dragons involved in this. There's so many things that were set up that were not given justice.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I just realized we don't know Moss' character too much. Why didn't you make Moss the Codebreaker?
Why didn't we? So she knew her way around.
Benicio wasn't needed.
She knew enough. She could have done this herself. The whole reason for this was to literally have character development for Rose. and it was just to get a small backstory.
And also get a little.
Finn had no involvement in this. He really didn't do anything in the entire scene. We wasted
entire movie.
Pretty much the entire movie. He didn't do anything.
Their goal was to get the Codebreaker, Benicio del Toro, bring him over to the Superstar Destroyer B-2 bomber, and pretty much shut down the tracker?
The tracker.
Shut down the tracker.
Which didn't even end up happening. Why?
Even
because
worse.
he sold them.
Yes,
so it was all a moot point.
You brought the enemy to the enemy to help the enemy, and then you lost people because of that. And then you come back and then Poe's like, "Hey guys, what's up? Where's my droid?" I'm like, "Damn, Poe, you savage. You don't even care about Finn or Rose. You just care about that droid."
Right. The 18 hours was complete bull. It took a couple of hours to get everything done. No, it took the entire amount of time. They literally had minutes left on the counter.
What was the First Order doing for those 18 hours? That's all they were doing was doing pitch shots at the freaking battle cruiser.
You literally heard him give the order to just go ahead and keep firing at them. Their shields are run out. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anywhere to run. Because they knew that if they tried to go to hyperspace,
why you give them time?
they would trace them down. They would be completely out of energy. The shields would go down. They'll die faster.
5 minutes into the film, you already wanted no prisoners. Take them out. You just destroyed Starkiller.
Gun ho.
They just destroyed Starkiller base. You guys probably lost a whole bunch of cruisers, men, everybody on that Starkiller base. Okay, and then now you're out for blood.
You've got checkmate. You've got checkmate. End the game. End the game.
Why you give them time? Why you give the resistance time? Freaking
It's
time.
like
to build a plan, to build a way to beat you. You
don't
do that.
You know what? It's a James Bond villain. That's what the First Order is. It's a James Bond villain. That's why I went to a casino. I guarantee that's why. They have the upper hand. They don't finish him off. Why? Because reasons. Because bad plot devices.
Because here's the thing. Kylo could have simply pulled off a Darth Vader, went over to the battle cruiser, and wiped out everybody.
Instead of being a whiny little complaining about the Force, complaining about no having daddy, no, Snoke doesn't love me, no, I don't have Rey as a friend, and we're having conflict.
There you go. Missed opportunities. At the end of Force Awakens, what did Snoke say? What did he tell Hawks?
Leave the base at once and come to me with Kylo Ren. It is time to complete his training.
Episode 8 comes in. Where's the training?
None. Show don't tell. Was never shown. You say it, but we've seen nothing of it.
Not only that, the moment that Snoke could take action, when it was your moment to take action, Snoke, why didn't you go and take the helm and actually train your freaking student?
All it is it's a Peter and Meg situation all over again. Continuously being talked down to. He doesn't respect him. He doesn't think that he's loyal enough to him.
Loyal enough? He just killed his father for you.
He about killed his mom, whatever. But
he
still didn't argue about her getting taken out. And to his knowledge, his mom's dead. He has no knowledge of his mom still being alive. So
that should have been a moment for Snoke's like, hey, come here. You didn't take the shot. I know. I saw everything.
This is the thing that kills me. Kylo's character.
Yes, let's hit up on
This is the one I have the biggest issue with, because even from the first one, I did not like his character. He is emulating and trying to be the new Vader. What did Vader do in all of any, conception? Did he take respect? Did he own and control the room? Or did he whine about anything? The only thing I can give him whining about, Vader, not Anakin, Vader. The only thing I can give him credit to just say, okay, you needed to about this one little thing. When he found out that Padme died. Blah, blah, blah. Then he says no at the end of it or whatever. That's like the only thing that Vader did. After that point, said everybody in the whole galaxy, I don't give a what I gotta do. I am owning this You got a problem with me? I'll force choke the out of you. And I don't have to throw you to a wall. I don't have to break anything. You will listen to me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Listen to me or die. Kylo, on the other hand, has a whole different philosophy.
At the beginning of Force Awakens,
was the only time he was any slight bit of badass. You gotta wonder what made him be a like that. He wants acceptance from somebody. It doesn't matter who, just somebody. Because he's quick to try to get seduced to the light side, because Rey keeps convincing him, like, you can come back, you're not too far gone, I can save you. I did not seduce her, it's a lie, it's fucking bullshit, I did not seduce her, I did not! Oh, hi, Mark. Sit there, he'll kill Snoke. He'll kill Snoke. We'll go over that. But yet, somehow, it's not good enough. Because immediately he wants to just rule the galaxy. And she's like, we just killed him because we don't want to rule the galaxy. We want to have peace and prosperity across the entire universe.
But Kylo's going through daddy issues, bro. We just need a crybaby right now, so that's all we need, bro. That's all we need. We all love a crybaby.
No, we don't.
Yes,
no,
we
we
do.
don't. That's not a thing.
And that's what Snoke needed to do, was to retrain him.
We were only told how Snoke just seduced Ben to the dark side and became Kylo. We were only told this. Again, show don't tell.
What if there was a training montage between both characters, you know? As
there was two chances
trained?
they could have done a montage, because they put elements into the movie that make no sense at all. Like I was saying earlier about the Force abilities, how they kind of enhanced them in here. Well, now there's telepathy involved. They can see their physical form. I don't think they're in the same place necessarily. They end up meeting just at chance, at random, and you don't really understand why, but they can see each other through something. Like I was telling him, like, why didn't they just do it during a montage while they were training? At the end of their training, or not even toward the end of their training, but at some point when they're both getting like really serious into their craft and they're using the Force for certain things, and they just happen to mind link then, and they think about each other, think about their enemy, they think about who they're trying to take down, whatever, and they think about each other so much they just mind link together. It would have made sense. Then they talk to Snoke, because she goes to him, and Kylo brings her up to the Emperor, whatever. He tells her that, oh, well, I mind you linked you together. I'm in your head. I am the all-powerful.
I am the all-powerful.
I am the all-powerful Oz that can do anything like that.
Like,
because
if you had this mind leak going, you had their minds in your head. Why?
This is why we have a problem with. This is why we had a problem with it. Because Snoke dies in the movie. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
How is he die? Oh, because he took Rey's lightsaber from her because she tried to strike him down. He put it next to him on this empty-ass throne room. Like, literally, it's just a throne and then just a flat room. I thought maybe it was a training room of some kind.
That would have
nope.
been epic.
It would have made sense.
You had royal guards everywhere. This would have been the perfect chance for it to show us how does the dark side trades. We read it in the books, we see it in the comic books, but what in the film? This was perfect chance. The perfect chance to show that off. But all we got was Kylo frickin' Ren, still the same frickin' crybaby from the frickin' episode 7.
That's really it's.
And I thought Snoke was gonna fix that. Like, you know, no, I need to train you now because we got Rey over here overpowering your ass. This is not right. I need to retrain this dog. This is a puppy. I need a dog.
Where's that water bottle at? Bad, bad. Don't do that again.
Febreze that dog. Febreze him.
Let's not make sense about it. So here's what the thing is. He takes her blade away and puts the hilt right next to him on his right side of the throne. If you're so powerful that not only can you see what somebody's thinking, like you can hear their thoughts, whatever, but you can see them performing or see what their intent is and stuff like that, how do you not notice that behind Kylo is his other hand and he's twisting her blade and twisting the hilt from being forward, going left into Snoke on the side.
Oh my god.
He's got his hand poised and he's going to strike you down with furious and vengeance, blah, blah, blah. While he's saying all this shit, Kylo's twisting that hilt around. And all of a sudden he turns it on, kills Snoke. Then Rey force wields it back to her hand, still on, like catches it in a cool shot, whatever. Again, eye candy. It makes no sense. What?
What if Snoke stopped that lightsaber and they realized that Kylo was doing it? What are you doing? Oh, you try to kill me, Kylo. Okay, this is how we're gonna play it out. He breaks the hand, and that's where we include the Skywalker that loses the hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could have paid homage to. We just
another homage right there.
Another missed opportunity for someone in the Skywalker line to lose a hand.
Missed opportunities.
So many missed opportunities.
Just to show off Snoke's power. In actuality, I would have been fine with the overall film if the payoff was worth it. I don't care about any of those theories that come out every other day on YouTube. What I care about is the actual story making freaking sense.
Yeah. Set up an 18-hour...
Take off your nostalgia glasses and look at the movie. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
A lot of this doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, we've already delved into so many problems that we can't even keep track of our own freaking record. Right now, we're still number 2. again, we don't want to judge a movie by what it isn't, what it was, but we wanted to speak out on missed opportunities for what they could have been.
No, so we haven't talked with Rey and Luke.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Rey is
Kylo
God.
Snokes.
Rey is God.
Yes, yeah, there we go. Rey.
Rey is
Yep,
God.
This is our next one. Rey is God.
She saves everybody in this movie. She's the Boy Scout of the movie.
She's like Luke Skywalker times 10 in Empire. Like, just think about Luke Skywalker overpowered in Empire. Just think about that.
No official training.
No training.
Although she is the only one that you see train at all. All right, so there's no formal training from anybody in the movie that we see, except for the little bit that we get out of Rey. It's been told to us that her and Kylo have had some training or whatever. Or sorry, Kylo's had training from both Master Jedi Luke and Snoke. We even had a flashback scene of him at the Jedi Temple with Luke. All he ended up really seeing was him sleeping. This movie has you in so many different emotions you really don't know how to feel, but you know it's not good.
Yeah,
I should not be having.
They throw this old nostalgia
They
at
throw
you,
nostalgia.
just so you can hide the flaws in the film. That's how they did this.
Great sound, great visuals. This is the Skywalker storyline. We don't need to introduce so many characters. We need to finish up this story
with the character you have now. Like, I would have been fine with Force Awakens characters and continue them. General
yeah,
Holdo,
if you're gonna introduce new characters in the first one, okay, great. Now just stick with them. You don't need to hire other people. You don't need to waste so much money on new sets and stuff like that. Not to the degree that you did. You need to pay homage to what was already there. We don't have a way of concreting this storyline, and we're not going to have that if you keep introducing new plot threads and having us question things at the end of the movie instead of answering them. There was nothing in this film that made you drop a jaw and go, oh my God, I didn't expect that. I'm excited for that.
Now here's the thing. They were not trying to be like Empire. But
no, but it felt like there should have been one.
Usually in the trilogies, there's always that middle, like, oh wow, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, there's always that what the f. There was no what the f here.
Yeah, the only one was
Leia Supermaning herself back to the ship.
Leia Poppins herself.
Leia Poppins,
Humble
whatever.
Humble yourself.
Because she did this and she went forward like this. That's a Superman drop to me. I'm sorry. That's what that is. Mary Poppins is, I did this and I held an umbrella to get back. Do with it what you will. Just saying.
You look like Mary Poppins.
Is he cool?
Hell yeah, he's cool.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Let's hit on Luke Skywalker.
Luke was the biggest portrayal. Now, I will say this. Those scenes with him and Rey, when she's first getting to the island and she's being trained or whatever, the best things out of the movie.
Oh, yeah. It was so...
Very Star Wars, jokes land.
Like, Luke wasn't Luke. Like, this was good.
It was a mixture of Han and Yoda. It was kind of weird. Like, he's willing to train. He's willing to see, but he's got to do it in his way, and you got to follow his lead, otherwise it's not going to happen. He's not kicking her off the island. He's not saying that you're a piece of shit or anything like that. It's just what the causes you're fighting for is not something I can support anymore because history is just going to repeat itself. The same thing we were told from any other Jedi from back in the day, blah, blah, blah.
There was one major issue I had with the film with Luke Skywalker. I don't know if it's lack of writing or the lack of...
lack of good writing.
Lack of good writing or the lack of the fact that you probably don't remember. But Luke Skywalker, at this point, when he was training Rey, he had no connection to the Force. None of it. He seized himself. He cut himself off. I don't know how you do that. But
I don't know how you do that either.
He's Skywalker.
He told the audience this. I mean, he all but looked at our faces. He all but broke the fourth wall and say, I don't have the Force anymore, guys.
So you're telling me your mental game was so hype, was so strong, you were able to cut your own self off the Force. And that's why Leia couldn't find you. No one could find you. Snoke couldn't find you. Kylo couldn't find you.
Yet, somehow... After the temple blows up the first time, Ben and Snoke kind of took over the whole place and killed all of your younglings or whoever. You're going to give directions back to your place to R2 and send him back out.
Wait, why did you do that? If you really cut yourself off from the Force and you didn't really want no one to find you, why did you give GPS settings to R2-D2 when he didn't want no one to find him? And he didn't want to come back to save anybody.
You're right.
He didn't want to save...
Why did that happen?
He didn't even want to save his own sister, his twin sister. Okay? That's how bad Luke was.
Yet somehow they have a connection to the Force where they mind Link too. I'm getting pissed now. I really am getting pissed.
But anyway, there was a moment between Rey and Luke, and Rey was hilarious though. I liked how Luke was embracing his Joker self. as he was
he really was
making fun of Rey as he was like trying to reach out to the Force.
It's one of the great moments. Okay, when she first starts being trained and she's meditating and she's trying to feel the Force around her and stuff like that, and he says, "Reach your hand out, or whatever. Can you feel it?" He puts a couple of strands of grass on her hands, and he's like, "You feel that? You feel that?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah, I feel that." She's getting all kind of excited, and finally she gets really, really excited. He just hits her over the hand with it.
No, bad, bad, Rey.
Like little moments like that, they just work. They just work together so well, and you can see where he's being a little lighthearted. There is some sense of hope left in him, and he's trying. Yeah. He's making an effort.
The one thing I want to go back to what I didn't like was that when Rey finally embraces the Force for just so a moment, she starts cracking floors and everything. For some reason, she says she couldn't sense Luke. That's where the cutoff from the Force. But Luke returns and says, "I felt this power before, and I was not afraid before, but now I am." But wait a minute.
If you're still scared of it now, and you're willing to teach her any damn way, come on, man.
Not even. How do you know she's this powerful when you cut yourself off? Because Rey just told him, "Hey, I couldn't sense you. Why? I couldn't sense you. You weren't there. I sensed everything."
Again, that's what he said. We're not shown. We're not shown anything to be true. Everything is just said, and they expect the words to just mean everything. I thought action spoke louder than words. Why isn't that true for film anymore? Take a lesson.
They want you to read the comics.
Oh, you mean the not canon anymore?
No, the stuff that's coming out now.
Oh, the stuff that's coming out now. The stuff that's not canon to the cinematic universe?
Read a novel. They probably got a novel out for you guys.
Oh, they probably do. Oh, again, the stuff that's not canon to the cinematic universe, except for shows like Rebels and the Clone Wars. Definitely not targeted for an adult audience. You can still watch them. They're still pretty good for us true nerds that are like they're in our 30s and 40s, whatever. But again, they're not marketed for us. So, yeah. Things like Yoda being able to manipulate the sky and stuff like that.
God.
Coming out of the spirit world. Yeah, that's a thing out of Rebels.
Now.
Did you know that? I didn't.
That moment, though, despite the fact that Yoda made his first appearance in the trilogy.
They did the puppet version of the original Yoda that you see out of the original trilogy, and they CG'd that puppet all around so they can give him freedom of movement as he's spirit. It was Yoda.
The message, he left another beautiful message, which was cool.
Another great message, filled with jokes. It was like it was the original Yoda all over again. Even the old Yoda had some humor in him, and they did perfect justice to it. The whole thing with him coming into light was the fact that after Rey left the island, Luke said, "F the Jedi." So his whole thing was to destroy the last of the Jedi Temple, and he almost did it, but he couldn't. Keep in mind that when Rey left, she took all of the material she could use out of the temple tree anyway. So she has all the Jedi knowledge. She's not just full of it. She literally has the books on her, and she's read a couple of things, whatever. But they're not, as Yoda says, page turners. That's one of his jokes.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's just little stuff that works. A lot of it doesn't, but for the things that do work, whatever. Oh, beautiful.
Now here's another missed opportunity before we touch on the
something
ending.
I thought about. That I was hoping would have worked again, like a montage. I don't know why people don't do montages anymore. They work for certain story elements right here. Mind you, we've already had a few cases where the mind links have happened between Rey and Kylo. Now, what if during this scene, had Snoke not died and Luke's still around for this moment? What if they were having a conversation in and of themselves? Two masters having a talk about the future and what this could mean for literally the entire universe. We could have talked about the philosophy as to what the Jedi Order is supposed to do. Why not play that into Snoke's mindset of like, oh, well, they're killing the Jedi Order anyway. They're doing it for us. Maybe Snoke would have backed off a little bit more. Maybe Snoke would have gone a different plan, different route to go ahead and end the rebels, whatever, in another way. That would have made a little more sense than sitting there and following a ship for 18 damn hours. They could have had this montage of all these characters fighting and having this, tell about the conversation between the two masters, talking over them as they're fighting. Stuff like that would have sold us.
I didn't care about I did not care about Snoke's history. All I cared about was Snoke's action.
Not sitting in a damn throne the entire time talking shit and having inconsistencies with your own abilities.
We could have just seen Snoke's, and we could have never hinted on his history. You could have just finish this trilogy off without even talking about his history.
Had he lived to the end? But now that since he's dead, what is the final piece going to be? You have 2.5 hours to explain everything that you did in this film, and then you have to find a way to make that satisfying right now. And honestly, with 2.5 hours left, I don't think you got it.
I feel like it's going to be like Mass Effect 3. I feel like it's going to be another Mass Effect 3, where they're going to gather everybody and their mother from the entire galaxy, and there's going to be a super weapon. So strong, it doesn't destroy planets. It doesn't destroy systems. It destroys the entire galaxy, okay? And they're going to grab everybody they can to save the freaking day. But out here, I'm like, wait a minute. They lost Starkiller Base. They lost half of a Superstar Destroyer B-2 bomber. What do you guys have left now?
Nothing. They've got nothing left. Neither side has the equipment they need to really continue the war.
At the end of the film, there's a battle between the last of the Resistance, which is like 5 or 6 guys. It's the end. It's the end for the Resistance. Everyone's getting murked, okay? But then Luke comes in. There is a beautiful moment between him and Leia, though. And that got me.
It didn't feel like enough, though. I don't know. Something about the lines, what was said, it just wasn't enough.
If you didn't see the end of Luke Skywalker, at that moment, did you feel it? You really did feel it. You did.
It morally sounded to me like, hey, I missed you. You know, you need to come to brunch more often. It felt like a friendly, you know, hello instead of a you know, family goodbye, you know? And he goes out there.
Well, he did say,
and he pretty much taunts Kylo. Again, you don't really know that it's an illusion as of yet. You feel like he's really there. The biggest
opportunity in this film. The biggest.
Oh, how did he get there? How did he get there? Because earlier they showed that the X-Wing was underwater right outside his door. They showed the hammer on the wall. You know what they didn't do? They broke the second rule of film. They didn't go back to the X-Wing. They didn't go back to the hammer on the wall. There was no reason for that hammer to have been there. There was no reason for the X-Wing to be in the water. Especially since he just put it underwater and he can get it out at any point. And, I'm sorry, wasn't he a master pilot that knew the ins and outs of that shit?
Oh, and not only that, Leia freaking created her own spacesuit out of the Force and able to pull herself back into the freaking ship. And here I'm like, if a Skywalker can do that, Skywalkers can do anything, apparently.
Pretty much. There's no rules to the Force anymore, because what are the rules? We don't know. This universe is completely changed. In the vacuum
of space. So I can imagine that he could have just activated the X-Wing with his Force and flew off with it.
Even with that, he wasn't there. It was an illusion. Now, here's the thing. If you have that much Force power, why in the hell did we waste an opportunity to show the full strength of his last hurrah?
That was perfect. It was going to be the last.
There was like 20 AT-ATs, and that one center ship where Kylo was, why didn't he knock over some of the AT-ATs over? Why didn't he just shut down their system so they couldn't fire at him?
Personally?
Because Kylo really got pissed off and yelled and screamed at his team to get him down there and focus all their firing power on that one man. Which was funny. It created a funny moment because they fired the shit out of Luke. And you're like, oh, damn, this is how Luke's going to go out? Well, that's f***ed up. And then he ends up still standing there alive. And then at the end of it, after the dust settles completely, he just looks at Kylo. It was funny as shit. It really was. But at the same time, didn't show any prowess of his abilities. Now, after that would have happened, could have pushed them all back and then left Kylo's forward to say, I want you. You know, just to come here. Because that's in his character. He's already been a sly asshole. He's been a smartass, self-deprecating humor. You know, like, he's going to sit there and do the dust off my shoulder thing, whatever, but he's not going to do this. Come on now. Come on now. It's completely not reasonable or any character. Just
now
things that with the Force you could see them doing. Because him and Kylo eventually get into a fight and he disappears. You go back to where Luke actually is. He's on the island. He's been meditating on the same rock that Rey was training on. And he had, you know, forced himself there. And when he finally gets out of that illusion, he breaks out of the illusion, he sees 2 moons. And it's an iconic shot from the original A New Hope.
The 2 moons or 2 suns? 2 binary suns.
2 binary suns.
Yeah.
Whatever. He sees 2 large bodies of light. Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter. It mirrors A New Hope entirely. And you get the nostalgia. You get in the feels and you're just like, oh my God, that's home or whatever. Then he goes at peace and the camera pans back as you see his body fall. He just disappears and the cloak just falls to the rock that he was sitting on. You know, pulls a bend. or really pulls a Yoda at this point, but he's so without energy, and it's just kind of like, how did pulling an illusion break you out of that? Like, did that really drain you that much of energy? So like, another thing about eye candy, yes, that was a great shot, and yeah, it would have had a lot more resonance if the reasons for his death would have made more sense, because that broke 40 years.
That missed opportunity.
That broke nearly 40 years of like, Luke is such a badass. Well, why is he a badass? You didn't get to see him do much in the original trilogy because we had technical issues. We didn't have the technology we did have for for the prequels. That fighting was badass. Those effects, while they were a lot of CG, there were still cool fights and stuff. There's none of that in this.
And I'm not asking for Luke to hold a miniature black hole in his hands like he did against a Yusuf Bong. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking to see that, okay? I'm just asking 100% Luke Skywalker before he passes on
before
to the
he
next
before
realm.
he can't anymore.
Because now all he's gonna do is be a freaking Force ghost, either training or guiding Leia/Rey, okay? That's all he's gonna do.
No, I think the best shot in this film was when she went ahead and hypersped through the
hyperspace
ship.
suicide. Humbly so.
That was the most killer shot. That went dead silence. There was a lot of black and white shots. Just seeing the light bounce off the ships and everything else. And
then it was ruined with the Family Guy versus chicken fight between.
It's really what it is, man.
Finn and
it really is.
Phasma.
Finn and Phasma are Peter and the chicken. They really are, man. Every time they get in a fight.
Like everything gets messed up, okay?
Jesus
Everything gets
Christ.
messed up whenever they end up fighting each other. No, it's true. Look
It
what
really
happened.
is. It really is. Every time they see each other, they have to be in a fight. They have to get in some kind of argument.
and
From the
something
minute
messes up.
one. With the end of this all, Snoke's dead. We don't know any of his origin. Training would have introduced that. It would have helped somewhere.
When I
A
first found
story
you,
being
man.
told to Kylo would have mirrored some of the past, some of the great things about the past, and would have explained more on his backstory and how him and Kylo could have gotten, involved. That needed to be explained.
You know what hurts is that the casino took up half the freaking
That's the
film.
thing. Take the casino out. Don't introduce Rose because we don't need her as a character.
And-
Sorry, we don't. You know why we don't need that? Because we've already connected the people that don't wield the Force in Rogue One.
I just realized
We
something.
already connected with an entire group of people that didn't make it.
Oh my god!
Why
I
did
just
we need it
realized-
here?
I just realized something. The 18 hours of chase would have made sense if that was on purpose by Snoke. He was baiting Luke Skywalker. He's been trying to find Luke Skywalker since Force
That's what I'm
Awakens.
saying. That's what I was saying at the end of remember that montage when they were all battling or whatever?
Yeah.
Him and Snoke should have had a conversation. That's why I was saying that.
Yeah, I'm baiting you, bro. I want you out here. I'm about to kill your sister right now. I want you out here. Bring your pupil. Bring him.
Instead, all the Jedi and Sith want to do right now is mind each other. And sacrifice their fleet doing it.
And the Royal Guards.
And the Royal Guards and the Dreadnought, whatever.
Another thing what pissed me off, it didn't make sense with the 18-hour chase when within 5 hours you could have realized that they're onto you. And also you had 2 or 3 different Star Destroyers ready. You could have just sent them out in hyperspace and then flanked them from the front, and then you just... And when I first started watching this film, it was a solid 7. But after the film, after you take off those nostalgia glasses and you look at what it is, it's disappointment. Straight out disappointment. It was a geeking out for a good minute, but then now, unfortunately, The Last Jedi is GeekEnough. This is GeekEnough.
May the Force be with you.
I'm this close to give it a freaking MEGACRAP, but it's not MEGACRAP.
It's not MEGACRAP. It's just a disappointment as a film. It's not taking nostalgia glasses completely off. As a film, it does not work.
There's no hope for me right now for this film. I don't see hope. For episode 9, I don't see hope. Like, it's gonna feel like Mass Effect 3 again. Get everyone together against an evil that's going to wipe out the entire galaxy, apparently. But we don't know what this evil is. I'm gonna say this right now. It's gotten to the point because they're rushing these things so bad. They used to be an event. Disney's trying to do Star Wars like they're doing with Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the thing is, that's not the same thing right now.
It's not. Disney, take a note. Listen to Mark.
Oh my god.
If you can just... I know you don't want to listen to George, but you should have. You really should have.
Tweets and articles that Mark Hamill has expressed his opinion towards Disney and Rian Johnson, even J.J. Abrams at one point. you know, in certain aspects of Luke Skywalker, and he was very disappointed with.
And if you break the mold, if you go too far past the realm, they're not going to believe it. They're not going to identify with it anymore. You got to think, these people identify with these characters in a very specific way. These are talking about characters that's been 40 years in the making, you know?
And Mark Hamill's been through it all.
He is the grandfather of pop culture when it comes to nerdism. He relishes in Star Wars. Him and Carrie Fisher both love that they were in Star Wars. He's the f***ing Joker. He knows this character. He knows his craft. And for him to agree with George on something and know that even without George being involved in these projects or whatever, it's a big deal. You should listen to him. If anything, advisory content for the next film.
Honestly, like, the film, like, you had it.
You know what? This isn't as bad as Battlefront 2. This isn't as bad as Battlefront 2.
It's not as bad.
You're good. You're not as bad as EA. So there's that.
There's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
You still have hope. It's been a pleasure having you here today. Welcome and goodbye. This has been Geeking Out. I've been Cole.
And I'm the Nate Myster. Hasta la vista.
Oh, by the way, real quick. Did anybody notice when Kylo was reaching out for Ren, his fingers were fat as f***?